Hello, everybody, and welcome to Board Auto Studio. Today I am making a stand for a microscope. Why I'm making a stand for a microscope? Well, my father, as you could see in my last video, needed to do some macro photography for one of his reports. He's going to photograph some fungus or lichens. I don't know exactly what it is in English. But he needs to do some macro photography, and we have been searching around for various ways to do this. We have looked at everything from photographing by adapting a camera to one of his microscopes at a lab in Linköping. That'll cost money. That'll cost about $800 or 8,000 kroners, which is quite a lot of money. And for a one-time project like this, it wasn't really. It just cost more than it really tasted. So that wasn't an option. And renting lenses, that would have been an option if any company in Sweden rented these specific lenses. Every photography company like Japan Photo or Scandinavian Photo in Sweden, they rent photography gear for portrait photography or possibly for filming, but not the macro photography gear that we needed. So we had to buy it, unfortunately, which also cost a bit more money than necessary. So that was a no as well. However, I found this little microscope at a Swedish electronics store called Shell & Company here in Sweden for around $70, 70, $80, 700 to 800 Swedish krona, I think. And just make a little stand for this with the 3D printer, and it will be good enough photography equipment for this one report. So yeah, so about $100 for photography equipment like this, and it can be reused multiple times, and he can also use it in his lectures as well later on. So yeah, this will be something quite good for that he can use multiple times. And also I have something to put in my portfolio, which is great. Always look for stuff you can put in your portfolio, even if it is a random sketches that you've been doing. Just make really good sketches and put them up. It can never hurt if there's good enough sketches, and you show that you can you know what you're doing. But anyway, 2D sketching and the work process here. As always, I start off with the thumbnails, and I always start off with the planned sketches or the planned designs. The planned designs, which is always the designs that you have at first in your head, they may turn out to be really good, or they may turn out to be really bad, depending on what you come up with. So always start off with the plan designs and just get them out of your head as quickly as possible. Have them visual enough for you to see, and possibly for other people in your design team to see as well. A design is never ever not. I'm not gonna say it's never ever good. It might be good, but it's redundant to show it if anyone else can't see what you're doing. So you always need to be able to sketch it properly enough in order for other people to see. It doesn't need to be a work of art every time. It just needs to be visual or visually pleasing enough for other people to see. So that's what I'm aiming for right here. And also, I'm working in the realm of digital today, because the equipment I have for doing traditional work is a bit either broken or too clumsy for me to set up these days. So I am working in digital instead. So yeah, that's why. So yeah, that's why I worked in digital. Man, I need to script this. Stop stuttering this script, damn it. Or become better in English. Tip for everyone: do not start a YouTube channel in your second language. That is a really bad idea. But anyway, um, I did look at Thingiverse prior to this project in order to possibly find some design made for this microscope to begin with, and I actually did find something. However, the design was really flawed. It was really flimsy, so it was shaking a lot. Even minor table shakes would make the image shake hysterically, and it just didn't fit together very well. I actually had to remodel and redesign some of the bits for that design on Thingiverse in order to make it work, because unfortunately the person who had made it wasn't really that good at CAD, and yeah, it didn't print very well at all, and it all bent and buckled. So yeah, that's also partially why I am having to do my own design here. And also, this is a two-part series where I sketch first in this first video, and then I am going to be doing all the 3D work in the next session. So we are about to wrap up the thumbnail sketch here, the thumbnail sketching part, and this took about, I don't know, 20 minutes for one paper. If you're going to do this yourself, do more than to one paper like this. Do fill up a couple of papers or canvases or whatever you're doing, and just come up with as many designs as possible. But I'm not getting paid for this, at least not yet. So this one paper is good enough, and this is just some comments that I made on the paper in order to just give some feedback to myself. And now I am doing some prototyping. This is just some cardboard, some hot glue, and some kebab skewers with an exact knife, and I just made a little function model for how the function of the microscope stand would work. This was a quite crucial process in this project, because I wouldn't be able to have done this if I just had done it in the 3D or done this sketching. It would just have a turn out. It just wouldn't make the process that easy. Just making a quick model like that, spend 45 minutes in some cardboard doing a model like that, and the whole process will become so much simpler for you. But yeah, now I am going to do the final render. Here in Sketchbook Pro, I am first starting out by doing a couple of two-sided drawings, just to know what I need to go out from, or what I need to start out from here in Sketchbook Pro. The why I do this, it's just simply because it becomes simpler to do the perspective work afterwards when you have done a couple of drawings like this first. If you start off doing the perspective first, then you may end up in trouble, because you don't really know what the silhouette or the 2D side of the object looks like. So doing just a little sketch like this first will help you a lot. Also, one thing you're going to see me do a lot here is use the new fantastic perspective tools here in Sketchbook Pro. Sorry, I'm still having a cold. But unfortunately, if I don't record this video now, I will just procrastinating and I will never record it. So yeah, unfortunately, if I cough in your ear, sorry, don't mean to. But yeah, right now I am trying to set up the perspective tools here in Sketchbook Pro. But one thing I realized with these perspective tools, in this program, unfortunately, is the fact that I can't save the tool settings at all. I have to redo the tool or remodel the tool every time in order to make this tool work. I can't save the settings for it at all. So, Autodesk, if you can hear me, please make sure we can save the tool settings for once in the future, because I need to walk away from the computer sometimes and just save the project and sometimes reboot the computer. And when that happens, the tool just resets 100%. So I lose the perspective grid that I have set up, which is quite annoying. But anyway, enough about that. Unfortunately, I found myself having a little bit of trouble with the perspective grid here in Sketchbook Pro. One of the things I did wrong is trying to make the perspective lines before I make the ovals. So that's a tip for you: make the ovals before you make the perspective lines. If you do it the other way around, you will just be mad at yourself, because it will almost never ever match. Remember what I said in one of my previous videos about perspective. Make every line connect. If the lines doesn't connect, then it will not work when you're doing perspective. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm also going to be using the French curves, the oval or ring tools, and the ruler tools here in Sketchbook Pro. Why I rely so heavily on these tools here in Sketchbook Pro and not what I'm doing traditionally? Well, that's because when I'm working with pen and paper, the eye-hand coordination is so good with me these days that I don't need to that often. I do have rulers. I do have some oval guides. I do have French curves and whatnot, and I do use them for final renders like this. But right now, I think I said before here, the equipment I have for filming traditional medium here is a bit too clumsy for me. I need to get some other better setup for it. So digital it is, just to show you. And so yeah, that's why I'm having to rely on the line, the rulers, the French curves and whatnot so much in the Sketchbook Pro here. If I had a Wacom screen or a tablet screen of any other manufacturer, it will be a lot simpler, because it will be the same eye-hand coordination that I have otherwise. But those are quite expensive, and yeah, I just don't think I will use it enough for the funding of one of those right now. In the future, I will probably buy one, because mostly just because I'm a tech geek. But yeah, don't buy equipment that is too advanced for you too early. Learn how to draw on pen and paper first, then jump over to something more fun like digital. So people have asked me, what should I do? Should I get some Sketchbook Pro, some digital stuff first, or do I have to start working traditionally, because that's boring, not new fancy equipment? And I say, you have to start working traditionally, no matter what you do, because if you don't know the basics of drawing, which is something you can almost only do right now in the traditional medium with pen and paper, then you will not be able to do any good drawings anywhere else. Even if you do start off in digital, it will probably just be more of a hassle for you than it will actually aid you, and you will. And sometimes the programs do help you, and sometimes they don't. depending on what you're doing. If you're a beginner at drawing, then digital will probably be a bit too daunting for you, and you will just not know what you're doing. So so you should start off with pen and paper, learn the process there, and then jump over to digital. And also, most of the tools here in the digital realm is based on what the tools you're using traditionally. So if you know what the tools do traditionally, then you can use them very well in digital. However, when it comes to digital or traditional, uh, for it can be quicker for some people to do it in digital than this to do it traditionally, and that is mostly for concept artists for video games and for film. There's a fantastic concept artist called Feng Zhu that is talking himself warm about uh, the about the God. I need to script this. I need to stop. I need to stop stammering. Come on, Harold. Keep focused. Yeah, right. Feng Zhu. Well, you can check out his YouTube channel. He's really awesome, and he's really helping a lot. Even if you're not an industrial designer, but want to be a concept artist, he's really good for both actually, because he's talking a lot about industrial design in his videos. Because he did start out as an industrial designer and then worked himself into concept art. But anyway, the advantages of the digital really becomes apparent when it comes to painting. Uh, in painting, you can delete all your pixels when you're working in digital. You can't do that when you're doing it when you're doing painting traditionally. And the delete part when you're doing a final render of a painting can be really awesome for concept artists, because you can really let your creativity flow properly. Otherwise, if you're having to do painting, then you have to then you have to work with whatever paint you're doing, whatever painting you're doing. You can't redo it. Otherwise, you have to repaint the whole thing or paint over work you already done. But if you haven't got that other painting on a separate layer, then you may actually, yeah, you may not be happy with it, and yeah, it's just a hassle doing painting for concept art in the traditional medium, and it's just so much quicker when you're doing it in digital. So for concept artists in film or video games, they are almost all doing it in digital these days, just because it's so much quicker, and the workplace is so quick that they can't do it traditionally. They have to do it digital. Um, then how about 3D? Well, yes and no on that part. As there are some softwares that works really well for digital for some objects in concept art, or for industrial design. ZBrush, which is a quite expensive program, that it's industry standard for a creature creation these days. Almost every single creature in almost every single video game these days is drawn in ZBrush first, and then taken into the game design, and also characters are created this way. Just because it's so simple to work in that instead of program. However, I'm not so sure that I'm going to jump over it to it soon. Just because I can't afford it right now. uh, uh, and yeah, it just works so well working traditionally, or working in a painted fashion and digital still for me. So it's not something I need to switch to soon. So yeah, that's how what a 3D is for me. It's already used, and it's going to be a major feature in the future. sketching traditionally on pen and paper like this or sketching in a photo software or sketch software may not be necessary in the future, just because the 3D software has become so good. But unfortunately, we are not there yet, so it's still a pen and paper for me for a short while anyway, at least. However, should you start in 3D? No, I really don't think so, because it's the same thing there. You need to know the shape, how shapes work. You need to know how functional forms work. You need to know this traditional stuff first before you can jump over to the fun stuff, or to the fun mediums to work with. Uh, uh, it's a bit like my old math teacher said. You need to you can't just look at a math problem and know it. You need to get it into your hands. You need to get the math into your hands, which is also the same thing here. You can't just look at an image and know how to make it. You need to get the image into your hands in order to know how to make it. And also you can't. The same thing with football. You can't just watch tutorials about how to do football. You need to actually dribble the ball with your feet, and you need to get the ball into your feet, so to speak. So everything comes down to actually drawing and actually sketching to begin with. Even if you are going to become a 3D artist, I really do think you need to learn how to sketch properly first. Or if you are a 3D artist, if you're going to do uh, uh, what's it called, photorealistic renderings of stuff. That's the words. Photorealistic 3D images. Then photography is a good hobby for you. Just to know how light works, how a scenery work, how composition works. You need to know the basics of stuff before you can do the advanced stuff. Jumping into doing the advanced stuff before you know the basics, yeah, not a good idea. But anyway, here I am now doing some 4-point perspective actually, in the sketch here. Why I have to do 4-point perspective? Well, I did screw up on this image a little bit. The screw up I made was making the sketch a little bit too close to the horizon line. And unfortunately, when you are trying to make something a little bit too close to the horizon line, or if you're going to make something that goes above and underneath the horizon line, you have to use a 4-point perspective. If you're doing something either completely above or underneath, then you can use either 2-point perspective or 3-point. However, if you're going to make something that goes both above and underneath, such as this sketch here almost does, or it actually does on the microscope there, but it's not really that apparent. You have to use a 4-point, unfortunately. So yeah, it was a little bit screw up on my part. I didn't think I would have to use it on this sketch, but it just turned out I had to use it anyway, because it I screwed up, unfortunately. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough in your ear. But anyway, I am soon going to jump into the coloring of the sketch here. And for the coloring, I like to use a technique where I take the airbrush and just fill in some color, and this creates some streaks and some odd-shaped lines in the coloring, which I kind of like. The render becomes much more characterful. It has, I don't know, some more traditional-looking character to it all. Mostly when you're working in digital, most designers I see use a opaque color, or fill in one color completely before coloring the rest, or shading everything else, which is not wrong. you can do it, but I just like to use this technique. And if you're watching this, try out both. Don't just take my word for it. I do try your own technique on this, and I do try your own drawing style, or try your own rendering. This technique might work for you. It may not work for you. You just try out your own method and try out your own design. Find your own method of doing things. But yeah, just coloring in, and here in Sketchbook Pro, you have to work a little bit differently from when you're doing in traditional medium. In traditional, you can really work precisely with your eye-hand coordination. The markers, the pens, and whatnot, they flow exactly the way you want them to flow on the paper when you're working traditionally. Unfortunately, when with me working on a tablet here, it doesn't really work that well. Unfortunately, the eye-hand coordination is a little bit skewed. So yeah, the precision isn't well enough for me to work completely 100% the same way I do with traditional medium in neither Sketchbook Pro here or Photoshop. So what I have to do here is first color in a base color, then make a layer on top of that, and put another shading color, either darker or lighter color, depending on what I'm doing, on top of it. And just make sure it. I just pick a good light source and light it correctly all the time, light it consistently all the time. And you can make really fuzzy lines or really good sharp lines whenever you're doing this. And yeah, it becomes it has some good qualities to it doing it here in digital. In traditional, you would it would be simpler in a way, but it will also be hard because here, as you can see, I can delete my mistakes at all time when you're using markers or even some Prismacolor pencils. You can't really delete them. You have to work with the lines you're doing. But yeah, that's the differences between the main differences between fully traditional medium and digital, and that's the deleting part, and also the precision. So yeah, that's the difference here. What more can I say about this? Not that much, really. I'm soon going to make the final little bits of the render here. It's only about 6 more minutes of this video, so if you have stayed for this long, kudos to you. You have the best concentration skills on the planet. I know this is a lengthy one, and it would be a heck of a lot lengthier if I also did the 3D renders and 3D printing in this video, and it would just really take up too much time. You wouldn't want to watch it at all. So yeah, I'm soon about to finish up. Also, why do I separate all the parts here? Well, this is not that necessary for most of the work you'll be doing. Here, I just like doing it because I think I'm gonna separate all these parts for a presentation page for my portfolio later on. And just separating all the parts here, and also separating everything that is going to be 3D printed is something that I chose doing just because I can. Sorry. Yeah, by the way, don't record it while you're having a cold, and don't record it in your second language, and don't record it at all if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, don't record in your second language. Don't start channeling your second language. People don't. It's it's a really silly thing to do. Um, but yeah, let's see. What am I doing here right now? Well, also a small problem with the technique that I used here, with the airbrush first and not a solid base color first. It's the fact that I need to soon fill in a white base color on the sketch here, on every single part of the sketch here, in order to make it pop. Otherwise, all the other bits will just shine through, and it won't be looking that great. It will look kind of blurry, and it just looks silly. And also, why I chose the green color here? Well, I'm going to print this in green PLA, so that's why. There's no real other real reason, really. I could have chosen any other color, but I'm going to print this in green PLA, so just use some consistency of color here, and just to use the same color that I'm printing, as be the same that I'm using for sketching as well. You don't have to be that picky about it, but you know, just have some consistency throughout the design process can be good, just to show even more that you know what you are doing, and also show that you don't deviate from the design parts too much can also be good. So some final shading, and also soon some final base color for all the bits here. And I'm going to put in right now base color for white here, very soon, right now. Yes, and we're going to be done soon. Hold on, just got a couple more minutes, and yeah, just finishing up. Next time, I will be working in 3D. I will be using Autodesk 123D Design, which is a free software that you can use for this. And it's a good software. It doesn't have all the features of a professional software like Inventor or SolidWorks or CATIA, which really are made for working in 3D with objects like this, which is something you really want to use. But unfortunately, just like every other professional software on the planet, they are expensive, really expensive. These are the most expensive softwares on the planet, I think. For a full featured one, some companies have to pay about $100,000 or something every year to have the latest updates of the softwares, and that's how expensive they are for professionals. So for private individuals, they do have cheaper ones. But still, it's kind of like $3,000 or something for a fully featured software, which is a lot of money for either students or for someone like me who's just working at home at the moment. But yeah, it won't be a lot of money once you start working finally. But adapt your software to what you're using. But yeah, we are done here, and I'm going to show you the last image here, the final image in full glory here. Sorry the cough here. But yeah, here's the final sketch in its full glory, and yeah, it's this took quite a while because I was a bit too picky about this. But yeah, I can put this in my portfolio, and click like and subscribe if you like this video, and also share it around on social media to everyone you know and you think will benefit from this video. And also, please take a look at my portfolio at board.studio.com if you'd like to hire me. And I will see you next time. Bye.